If you are thinking about hiring an agent to either sell your house or help you buy a house, you need to know that not all agents are created the same. Some agents simply do not have the updated knowledge that is necessary in order to be able to give you the advice and the transaction that you deserve to make sure that you go through this with get the best possible deal, whether you're buying or selling, and make sure that you don't do anything that could cost you later. Because if you're not up to date with the latest requirements for disclosures, with the latest requirements for documents in general, and what you can ask of if you're buying and what you should provide if you're selling, then you could end up losing a lot of money, could cost you a lot of money. So it's really, really crucial that you select the right agent. And I have come across, especially in recent time, quite a few agents that definitely weren't up for the task. They did not know about the most basic changes in how real estate works, and real estate changes a lot all the time. So you really need to be on your toes if you want to be on, if you want to be the best possible advisor for your clients. So the purpose of this video today is to give you a few hints about how you can make sure that the agent you're planning on working with knows what they're talking about and are able to give you the best possible transaction and get your home sold at the best possible price without you ending up with a big bill because you didn't provide the proper disclosure. Or if you're buying, make sure that you get the information from the seller that you have the right to get, and make sure that everything is being every box is being checked, every T has been crossed up, and every I has been dotted and whatever. So this is the purpose of this video, talking about how you can make that happen and how you can secure that you work with the best possible agent for what you're doing, whether you're buying or selling. My name is Ben Danholm. I'm a real estate broker here in Central Florida, and I have to stay on top of all these changes in our profession because not only am I an active real estate agent, I work with a lot of buyers and sellers all the time. I also have a responsibility to train my agents. So when I tell you that some agents are not up to scratch, I know what I'm talking about. I can guarantee you that every single one of my agents know what they're talking about, but there are a lot of agents out there who does not. I'm not here to hang out a specific agent or a specific brokerage because it might not be their fault, so to say. They might think they are up to date, but doesn't change the fact that they're not. And I have no interest in hanging anybody out anyways. I just want to give you the best possible tools that I can give you so you at least have a chance of finding an agent who's up for the task, an agent who can really provide you with the best possible service and has the knowledge to make sure that you get the information you have the right to get from the seller, and as a seller, you provide the information that you are obligated to provide to the buyer. And in general, just make sure that the transaction runs smoothly. And during negotiation, this is also crucial for an agent to know exactly what their sellers or buyers' rights are in this situation. Otherwise, they really can't negotiate properly for the agent. And I recently ran into a couple of agents who didn't know, for instance, how the latest changes in our industry affect how we as agents work with each other. One of the big changes last year in our industry was that there's a big shake-up on commission, how commission is to be handled. As of August last year, all buyers have to pay for their own agent, or they have to negotiate to get the seller to pay. The seller is not obligated to pay anything. You have to put the property in the MLS, and the seller's agent is not even allowed to post in the MLS how much is offered, if anything. So it's been much more of a negotiation. And even though you as a buyer can still ask the seller to compensate your agent, it is your responsibility at the end of the day that your agent is getting paid. One of the agents I worked with did not know that. There's also been another couple of changes in the Florida law. As of October 1st, every seller of residential real estate has to provide what's called a flood disclosure. It's a simple one-page form that shows whether or not the seller has had any flood issue during his or her time of owning the property. Most of the agents I've been dealing with really recently did not know that's a requirement. And it's been a requirement since October 1st. Other forms have changed, other things have changed, other requirements for information have changed, especially if you're dealing with condos. A lot of changes on the condo, and a lot of the agents I dealt with did not know that either. And that made me think, if they don't know this, what else don't they know? And if I was a consumer, I would really, really want to know how I could avoid working with people who are not entirely up to scratch and cannot give me the best possible advice. On the professional side of this, it's not enough to be able to market so much property. You also need to know how you, as a professional, can advise your client best in the best possible way. So, how can you, as a buyer or seller, avoid these agents, or at least check out if they have the knowledge that you feel satisfied with? I'll get to that in a minute, but first, a little call out, a little shout out for my channel here. If you like the content I'm providing, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you dislike it, please let me know in the comments. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will dislike this because they don't want to be told the truth, but I mean, it is the truth what I'm talking about. But anyways, if you like it, give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment whatever you like in the comment section. And also, if you want to be kept up to date with anything real estate here in Central Florida, how about subscribing to the channel and hit that little notification bell? I think it's in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And then just hit that, and every time I upload a video, you will be notified. Because if you don't, YouTube will only sporadically notify you of new videos, even if you do subscribe to my channel. Well, let's get back to what we were here to talk about today. So, just like you should ask any agent you consider working with about buying or selling a property, you should ask them about their marketing experience. That's crucial to know that they actually have the experience to help you find the right property for you, or help you sell your property on the best possible terms for you. There are a few things you also should ask them in order to test if they really have the real estate knowledge it takes to make sure that you get through this transaction without any missed opportunities as a buyer for information you could have gotten, or make sure that you provide everything that you're supposed to as a seller, and they have the negotiation skills that are needed in order to help you get, whether you're buying or selling, get to the best possible deal for you. So one of the things I would ask, if it was me, I would ask, can you tell me what has recently changed in local real estate laws? They should be able to answer that. And things change all the time. So that recent change might be 12 months old, or it might be 2 months old, but there's always a recent change. And any agent should be able to at least give you an overview of what's relevant for you. They might not tell you about all the laws that have changed, because if you're selling a single family home, there's no point in discussing condo law changes or anything like that. And I'm not asking of anybody to give legal advice, because that's not what we're talking about here. Just make sure that they know what is going on in our industry. Um, it's another thing you could do. You could check their websites, their blogs, their social presence. Are they actually writing about real estate stuff? Do they keep everybody who's following them updated on real estate? Or are they just talking about the last time they had an ice cream down in Disney Springs? It's really crucial that the personal stuff, I guess, is important these days, but to me, as a consumer, as a buyer or a seller, it would be much more important to me to know that they are actually talking about real estate and know what they're talking about. We could also ask them if there are any changes in any disclosure. Is there anything I need to disclose about my property, especially if you're selling? That's a very fair question to ask your agent. Has there been any changes, and what do I actually need to disclose? What forms should I have filled out and signed before we even go to market? Because it makes sense to fill out all these forms before you go to market, so they're ready. It also makes for a much smoother transaction if everything you as a seller needs to provide is provided upfront. If they don't ask you to disclose anything, if they're not asking you for homeowners association documents, if you're an HOA, if they're not asking for condo documents, if you're a condo association, if they're not asking you to fill out a seller's disclosure, that in itself should be a big red flag. Because in order to protect you in the best possible way as a seller, they should make sure that you provide all the information that you are required to, and also the information you're not necessarily required to, but it's recommended that you require. Also, when you get to fill out forms, whether that's a listing agreement or a buyer brokerage agreement, then maybe check if that form has a date that's a couple of years old. It's probably not the most recent one because these things change all the time. So maybe just check the paperwork they're presenting you with. And if you're a buyer, you should know that all agents are required to have a buyer brokerage agreement with any buyer they want to work with the minute they start showing your houses. We can do all the talking we want and we can have all the meetings we want, but the minute we go out and show your home, new rules require that you sign as a buyer brokerage agreement. It's a protection of you and your agent. And I have a feeling, based on recent experience, that a lot of agents still don't do that. And so, if your agent doesn't do that, it's either because they are afraid to ask you for it, or more likely that they actually don't know that they have to have one of these. Ask them about the market, interest rates, how it affects the market. That also, because that shows knowledge if they can talk about that. Maybe ask about local zoning, flood zones, and local restrictions. If you're buying, ask about is there anything I should be aware of in this area? Can I do this? Can I do that? What are the restrictions? Are there any planned changes to the area? Because any good agent should be up to date on all these things. So there are a few things you can do. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It wasn't as long as some of my other videos, but I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. And if you did, like I said before, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell, because YouTube, they do not tell you about new videos uploaded to channels you subscribe to unless you hit the notification bell. They might tell you about the occasional video, but they will not tell you about all the videos if you're not on the notification list, so to speak. All right. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, bye for now and see you next time.